Are you looking for the best running shoes? In this video, we will break down the top running shoes on the market. Before we get started with our video detailing the best running shoes on the market, we have included links in the description for each product mentioned, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting off at number 1, we have the Nike Zoom Pegasus Turbo 2. Nike's Pegasus line has always been a go-to option for runners seeking a solid all-around running shoe to train and race in. But the introduction of the souped-up Pegasus Turbo has taken that to another level. The Turbo was launched in 2018 and immediately blew the Pegasus 35 and every other all-rounder shoe out of the water in offering the ideal combination of comfort and speed. And the Turbo 2 is just as impressive as its predecessor. In the midsole, you'll find a combination of two of Nike's proprietary foams, Zoom X and React. Zoom X is the lightweight bouncy foam used in the Vaporfly, and it's pretty much perfect aside from the fact that it's not all that durable, which is fine in a pure racing shoe like the Vaporfly, but not the Pegasus Turbo, which has many training miles to cover as well. Thus, the hardy React foam has been added to the midsole to increase the durability of the Turbo, with great results. We found our set of the first edition of the shoe lasted well beyond 500 miles. The second edition of the Pegasus Turbo leaves the brilliant midsole unchanged, but it has an updated upper, which is lighter and more breathable than on the original shoe. It's not a huge change, but the good news is that Nike did away with the racing stripe that ran down the center of the first Pegasus Turbo, so the new shoe is easier on the eye as well. At number 2, we have the Hoka One One Rincon. The Rincon has a lot of standout features on paper. It's very light at 218 grams, while still having ample cushioning. The Hoka's early-stage Meta Rocker is always impressive in delivering a smooth heel to transition. What's more, you get all of that for $105, which is a bargain in a running shoe market that's now stretching well beyond $200. However, what really stands out about the Rincon, when you actually run in it, is how fun it is. It's not bouncy like an Adidas Boost shoe or the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2, but that smooth transition, lack of heft, and chunky cushioning all combine to create a ride that's a joy to experience. Whether you're heading out for a tough tempo session, an easy recovery effort, or even a race. Take the Rincon out for a long progression run in particular, and you can experience how the shoe just feels better and better as you increase the pace and distance covered. It doesn't have the carbon plate that you'll find in the pricier Hoka One One Carbon X shoe, but the Rincon is just as good a racer at any distance shorter than perhaps a full marathon, and a whole lot cheaper and lighter than Hoka's flagship road shoe to boot. At number 3, we have the Brooks Launch 6. There are several great all-rounder shoes available at the $100 mark, including the Nike Zoom Pegasus 36 and the Saucony Ride ISO 2, but the Launch 6 gets the nod from us not by providing one standout feature, but instead nailing the sweet spot between racing shoe and easy trainer. It's the Goldilocks shoe that can do it all. You can reach for the Launch no matter what type of run you're planning, but we found it particularly excelled during tempo runs and steady-paced long efforts, especially those where you crank up to something like race pace near the end. The transition from heel to toe is quick and smooth, and the ride is slightly snappier than other all-rounder shoes, though not so firm that the Launch is uncomfortable during long runs. Brooks added some more foam to the midsole around the forefront with a 6th version of the shoe, which didn't really affect the ride, but should make a shoe that was already known for its durability even more long-lasting. The upper is comfortable and fairly nondescript in appearance, although Brooks does release special editions from time to time, but that unassuming upper suits the Launch well. It's not flashy, but it will get the job done every time, no matter what kind of run you have on your plan. For an added bonus, it costs less than $100, a rarity worth celebrating in the world of premium running shoes. At number 4, we have the Nike Zoom Vaporfly Next Percent. How do you follow up the greatest long-distance racing shoe of all time? That's the question Nike had to answer with the Next Percent, the successor to the Vaporfly 4%, the shoe that runners of all levels have been using to set personal bests and world records over the past couple of years. Nike started by adding in 15% more Zoom X foam into the midsole of the Next Percent compared to the 4% to provide more comfort and bounce. The carbon plate is still in place in the midsole, helping to propel you to those PBs, but the offset of the shoe has been changed, with more foam in the forefoot to reduce the drop of the shoe from 11mm to 8mm, which provides a more stable feel to the ride, especially when running in wet weather. The upper and outsole are also better able to handle rainy days. The former is now made of vapor weave, which is more breathable and absorbs less water than the Flyknit used for the 4%'s upper. And the outsole has more traction. Sometimes the 4% could feel a little dicey when rounding sharp corners at speed, but that's not the case with the Next Percent. And for our final pick at number 5, we have the New Balance FuelCell Rebel. There's an awful lot to like about the FuelCell Rebel, and it starts with the price. While $120 isn't cheap by any stretch, it's significantly cheaper than the other shoes we'd rate in its class as a racing and faster training shoe, such as the Pegasus Turbo 2 and the Hoka One One Carbon X. It's very lightweight at 208 grams, but still has enough cushioning for longer runs, and it's also a great deal of fun to run in. The Rebel's midsole is made of New Balance's FuelCell foam, which is lightweight and bouncy, exactly what you want when you're aiming to log long distance at speed. Most runners will find that it's not quite soft enough for easy training, but anytime you want to up the pace, the Rebel is a terrific shoe to have on your foot, and it has enough cushioning for a full marathon. Although the booty-like upper is comfortable and provides a secure fit, we found that the Rebel in general runs a little